Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Wherever you are in the world today, I hope that you are doing great. Hope that all is pleasant for you. And most importantly, my friends, hope that you are in good health. Once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. On this channel, my friends, we get to talk about those things that people know, that people have thought about, but don't often have the time to discuss. These, my friends, are the things we discuss here on the Common Sense channel. So, once again, welcome to the Common Sense channel. For today's talk or for today's video, we're going to be asking questions like, when is China going to announce their world superpower status? That's the topic for today's video. I mean, has we all value and know history. History has a way of introducing things. History has a way of interpreting itself, and history, my friend, has a way of repeating itself. History has a way of introducing things, and history is real. So as we pose the question, when will China announce her world superpower status? We're going to look at history and see what happened right after 1945. Right after 1945, I often call it the European Civil War, but some call it World War II. America, this great nation, emerges as the world's superpower. There are other factors, there are many factors that were at play right after World War II. And America did not really need to announce itself or herself. Everyone knew, the whole world, the entire world knew who was in charge. That it was no longer Britain or England, that America had taken the mantle of being in charge of the world, that every authority on the planet, on the earth, would have to abide by the rules, the agenda of this country. And so was it, and so is it to this day. America would go on to make great moves. America would go on to basically legislate how the world runs. For example, America will make peace and America make wars. America would go to places where people were yearning for freedom and bring about freedom, as was the case after World War II and prior to World War II. So they say. So that was the role the great United States played. America would go places like South America where people were complaining of dictatorship and try to change governments and bring about new regimes. America would go places like Southeast Asia, bring about hope. So basically, America was like the city on a hill, the shining city on a hill. And then everyone look up to that city for morality, for justice, for peace, for equality, for freedom. Freedom, so they say. So that was the role America played before 1945. And after 1945. That would be post 1945. America was respected by every country. When America spoke, everyone listened. Not only did America speak or spoke, the money, America economy went along too. We're talking about a time when America GDP was, higher. Not only that, America was manufacturing things. The United States was the manufacturing hub when it comes to manufacturing technology, when it comes to industrialization. America was the hub. You understand? That's how you know a country is a superpower when it comes to money. Every country, I mean, it's not me saying it, it was evident everywhere. Every country around the globe had to come to America for money. I mean, you had no choice because America was the richest, the baddest, the toughest, the most industrial country on the planet. True. Everybody wanted to do business with this country, the United States. They didn't, even if they didn't have choice, they had to. And it doesn't mean that America was in a good country. America does great things around the globe. We're talking about that time. You understand? When you thought of a country with the ability to bring about change instantaneously, most countries wouldn't even call England. Maybe they did, except those countries that were colony of England. But when we talk about power, it was the United States. And when 2 or 3 countries are at war, when the United States steps in, everyone listen. Everyone stop immediately and listen to the power that spoke. That's how relevant and essential America was as a superpower, a world superpower. It still is today, but it is not as relevant as it was post World War II. And I'm not going to talk about technological advances. America was there. I know they were in race with the Soviet Union, USSR. That's what they used to call Russia, if you don't know. That's what they used to call Russia. Russia! USSR. I don't know if they still have elements of USSR, but that's what they used to call. And then they were America, formidable enemies or competitor. I say competitor is more, it makes more sense than say enemies, because you don't talk to your enemies. You don't engage your enemies in any form, diplomatically, bilaterally, whatever, in any form. You don't engage. So the moment you start engaging your enemy, or if you're in the process of engaging your enemy, then that becomes your competitor. Understand? But that was the only, even those days when I was a little boy, when I watched these propagandist movies about USSR, It's often America being the good ones, the good country, and USSR being the villain, you know. So there's all these movies from Hollywood about the USSR. Even there are movies on like sports where America often come out as the winner in these movies. So that's how great the United States was. We all remember that. I remember that like yesterday, you know, and to see our presidente who once became president um, was growing up with China. He was growing up with China in a way that everybody was thinking maybe we're going to start World War IV. Because I don't think people say World War III. No. World War III had already started with Japan. Remember when Japan attacked? No, that was World War II. Japan attacking China and most of the country in Southeast Asia. That was World War II. World War III was the one with Hitler. Hitler. That was the one with Hitler. That was World War III. So now we are. Hopefully, I heard Xi Jinping and Trump saying that maybe there won't be another one again. Maybe there won't be World War IV. Because the Europeans, they were trying to have that happen, but it ain't happen now. With Russia again, Russia, that would have been World War IV. But apparently, it's a lukewarm, war between Europe and Russia again. So, but it's only with Ukraine. You get the point? So yeah, so when Trump started this whole thing with Russia, he was talking tough, real tough. And everybody like, yeah, go get them. They are thieves. He called them all names. He's like, how he's gonna bring them down, how he's gonna do this. We're gonna put 200% tariff on you. China. And he said all these things, man. You know, it's kind of funny when you are talking about your opponent or your competitor from a distance. You know how you are like forceful, you are energetic, and you talk down on them in a way that people are like, what if this guy is facing this guy? Would we be seeing punches? But I think Trump is a skillful politician. Yeah, got to give it to the man. Yeah, Trump is a skillful politician, you know, and all of the things he was saying, you know, he was hoping that China would come to America. I think Trump was hoping that China would cross that ocean to America, but it didn't happen. So you know what I says? That China, I know they're not going to say it. I know China is not going to announce it. America did not announce. Go check your history books. America did not announce to the world that they were the superpower. Everybody knew. You understand? And I think China is following the same playbook. When a country become the world superpower, they never announce it. But I think China is hoping for an event so that it can roll out the red carpet. But I don't think they are going to announce that they are. But Trump knows Because all along, Trump was doing all that tariff thing. My hope, I didn't say it on my videos, but I was hoping that China would cross over and meet with Trump and say, I think I may have said it in one of my videos. I don't remember, but I think I did. But all of that war with the tariff, I was saying maybe they're going to come over and try to talk to Trump, because regardless of how you see it, America is still the world superpower. A lot of people don't know, although England did not officially hand over their status as the world superpower when America took over. Like I said, America never announced to the world that they had become the world superpower. Everyone knew it. All the powers on the planet knew that America was. It was just a time that everyone understands that. But regardless of England not announcing, England still had the financial power. Yes, England is a very powerful country. Money, England has money. Yeah, most of the tough banks is England. The richest banks, powerful banks, is still in England. America was smart enough to introduce the dollar because the dollar was always backed by gold. But when it became legal tender, America can print as much as they want to the world, and that make that money international. In as much as China is projecting to be, or is telling the world that it is, you can check and see in terms of technology, in terms of military might. China, number one, check. It's just not saying it. I don't think it's going to say it. Just like the United States. For Trump to go down there, in my view, I think it was weakness. I will always cherish any president that come into this country, regardless of whether I disagree with them or not. There's always going to be our president until they leave. Whether they're screwing up the country, it's what the majority of the people wanted. So we who are independent, we just have to suck on it. But Trump going to China, it's a weakness. If not a weakness, it shows that China, and they may not say it, but it's true, that China is now the world superpower. Understand? Anytime a country can look at a whole chunk of another country or another continent and say, I will forgive all of your loans. We're talking about billions of dollars. That says a lot about that country. And anytime that country speaks, the world listens. That says a lot about that country. Any country that can build bridges, then destroy them, that says a lot about that country. So China had always known that they will emerge as the world superpower. And that's why they're positioning themselves, building bridges, then destroying them, making connection with other countries across the globe, then destroying them. You understand? China will never. Some people say in 2049, China may announce, but I don't think they will. But in order for China to make any move, they have to contend with the United States. I don't think the dollar is going anywhere. The dollar is going to be a formidable force. In order for China to take over as the world superpower, they'll have to contend with the dollar. Until then, still going to be a race to contend with. Trump should have never taken that trip to China. And what was so surprising to me when I watched Trump speak was, and I think he's a politician now. I think Trump is a politician now. He's not like draining the swamp, like how he used to talk before. He's a seasoned politician now. Because to see Trump talk about Xi Jinping that way, after saying all of the stuff that he said about China and the CCP, the Chinese Communist Party, to see him like that, Mr. Trump, I was like, wow, politician. And Xi Jinping, he has this, I don't know if that's how the Almighty created that man, but he has this, he's always smiling. What's wrong with you, Xi Jinping? He's always smiling. It's this thing on him, like, is this a real person, or why is he always smiling? Like, yeah, sometimes you got, maybe people like that are dangerous people, Mr. Trump. Yeah, it's the kind of person that would stab you in the back. Yeah, because he's smiling to your face and like he's trying to take you out. Yeah, that's how I see it. But yeah, Trump, you should have never gone down there. Superpowers don't do that. Don't capitulate. That's capitulation. But again, you started a war. I think, here's my honest take, Mr. Trump. When you started that tariff thing, war or whatever, say you're trying to fight for Americans, the farmers, especially the farmers, you should have remained focused. When you're running a race, the only thing that will make you to lose the race or lost the race is when you become distracted. You start listening to the noise on the side, people yelling at you, go boy, go girl. But if you remain focused and stay on that, no distraction, no sidelines, nothing, you'll win. And I think you're at the point where China was going to cave. Yeah. But when you begin distracted, those people that will distract you are not your friends. They're your enemies. They may come to you as your friends, but they're not. Yeah, we all have them in our lives. They will distract you when they see you got something good going on for you. They'll come and distract you. And that's what happened to you. Look at our country now. I don't know where all of this stuff is going, but if the price of gas ever get to $10 a gallon, that's not going to be good. Yeah, that would be a place where I don't think Americans will be able to get to, but who knows? That's unprecedented. That's historical. Because right now, in some places, it's like $7. For those people that drive a car that uses premium, pay like 6 something now. So imagine in places like California, New York, how much they're paying for gas. So what's stopping it from hitting $10? But it's how much do they pay for gas in China anyway? So that's something I'll be looking at to see how much is a gallon of gas in China if they're using gas cars in China. I heard they're big on the EV down there too. You know the EV, right? EV, electrical vehicles. I heard they're big on that. And the AI thing too. Yeah, so I think they I don't know, but I maybe who knows. They probably would not announce it to the world that they are. I think everyone would just know that they are. And they've been crafty, like taking the time, going here, talking to people, making friendship, building bridges, you know, forgiving loans. And some of the, especially with the poor countries, imagine some of these loans, the interests are so freaking high. We're talking about 200 to 300% high. And then all of a sudden, Great China comes and says, all of your loans have been forgiven by the People Republic of China or the Chinese Communist People's Party or Chinese Communist Party. That's for some countries, wow, that's a big relief because that money that they should have paid if they are responsible, if they are if they are thinking in the right direction, if they I mean those countries now, if they care about the people and the interests of the people, if they are not corrupt, they can take those monies and put them in infrastructure. Money, I mean the money that they would have paid as debt to China. They can take that money and put them in schools, in education. They can put that in roads, infrastructure. They can put that in medical facilities. Yeah, if they're not corrupt now, if they're responsible, and they can do great many things with that money. So for the poor countries, that's a help, and that help is not free because the day China needs something, they can come running, knocking on your door and say, "Hey, we need this." See how smart that stuff is. That's what they've been doing all these years, making a way for themselves. They are a force to reckon with, Trump. And I watch you talk, and you didn't sound like when you were here, when you first got elected, how you were on fire, fighting, as you say, for the American people. Where is all that tariff money, by the way? Because you said that those monies were going to be released to the American people. Where are they? Where are the money? Or monies? So it's I the only thing I hope and pray that this country have a good leadership. Like, just I know right now I've seen the list of candidates that they are projecting in front of us for 2028. Some of these people will never be president in this country. I'm not going to mention their names because they're from the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. These people are they're old faces. They are old faces with old brains. They have no good ideas. Even the ordinary Americans in the village has great ideas that are based primarily on common sense. So not saying in a way that, but we know these people. That's what I'm saying. Their politics are not new. So I think it's time that this country produce. America has always produced great Americans, great individuals. I know we have someone out there. And my hope that this individual come from an independent background. We are tired of the same faces. You know, if I think Trump also knows this, that any of these individual wins, I think it's my prediction that if any of the individual, I'm not going to even call them in because they're not relevant to me. All of them. I know them, I know their names, but I refuse to say them on my channel because I don't want to promote them on my channel. They're from the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. I don't appreciate them. I don't appreciate the politics. None of everything they stand for is not relevant to me. I only promote progressive candidates on my channel. I only talk about people that I knew, fresh thinking Americans that care about this country, that care about the values of this country, that cares about the principles of this country, that uphold the Constitution, you understand, of this country. That's who I talk about. That are constitutionalists, that their main focus is making this country better. That's what I talk about. And until then, we haven't seen any of these people. But my prayer is we should have an independent candidate running in 2028. If not, we must have someone who is like Thomas Massey. I think Thomas Massey should run for president, I think, from Kentucky. Kentucky is a great state. I love the people of Kentucky. It's not far away from where I live. And I know they are very good people. And I think they should support that man, Thomas Massey. Support him. He's a great human being. He has integrity. Not many of them out there in this world with integrity. So support that man. Vote for him. I can't vote for him because I don't live in his state. But he's a great man. We've watched him, his evolution. You know, when a politician shows up and tells you they're going to do something about the situation that you are experiencing, your reality, they say they're going to fight for your reality and they go to Congress and they are working on your reality. That's a person you must reward. You know? Somebody that will fight for your reality. You remember this one thing Jesus did, and you don't see no one doing it in our world today. I say Yeshua Mashiach was, remember the one incident in the Bible, in the book, where he had his disciples sat down and he washed their feet. After washing their feet, he poured perfume, expensive perfumes, on their feet. Yeshua HaMashiach, aka Jesus the Christ, was showing the world how to show humility, how to humble yourself, even if you're the leader of any organization, how to honor those people that put you there. I think Thomas Massey has done that, standing his ground. And that's what this country has always been about. Men standing up for what they believe. People like Thomas Jefferson. Do you think if they didn't have Thomas Jefferson in this country, huh? Do you think that Constitution would have looked what it is today? Hmm? Alexander Hamilton, Thomas Jefferson. These are people that debate their values and their beliefs, and they make sure that they stand on these things. We don't have these such people in our world today. These people are gutless, some of them. They have no integrity. They have no morals. They stand on nothing. They um they preach things but they never practice them. They're easy, they're sell out. I mean, it's everything that makes you less than a human being, you know. So when at some point you see a person that's standing on principle, it makes you feel good, you know. And all these people they're putting in front of us, if any of these individual, take it from the common sense channel, if any of these individual becomes president in this country, mm, China will roll the red carpet out. They will announce it. They will just say, we are. And they'll just do it. Just like when America took over right after World War II. They will influence everything, including the United Nations. Yeah. If they not already is, you know. So I think there's just so many factors that will make Donald Trump run. And I think Donald Trump gonna be watching how things look like between now and 2027. And then when it get to a point where he sees that any of the candidate that the Republican Party that are projecting right now, if you look at them and see that none of them will stand the the chance of time, I want to say the chance of time, then I think he'll step in. I've said it in previous video and I'm going to reiterate it again. And I think Trump will run because, uh, like I said, I don't want to call his name. I don't want to call any of these people on my videos because these people, none of their values, I don't share none of their values, none from both parties. Yeah, so I'm not going to mention a name here. I can do that, but I'm not going to do it because they're old stories. We're looking for something new. If you're going to go into the Senate and don't do anything relevant there, you don't have no track record there, how the hell you think you're going to become president, have track record? Same thing like Obama. Man, ran, became a senator. What was his track record? Nothing. Same thing with the other one. These people don't have no track record. And then all of a sudden they want to be president. That's a tax that not any person can take on. Take a special person. And at this point, America is at a crossroad in its history. We need someone who stands on principle, someone who sees wrong and say wrong, someone who sees right and say right. Because the American people are not stupid. Yeah, some people may see like people looking from the outside may look at Americans and say, why you keep voting for the same people? Because they come in different faces and then they lie about what they're going to do and then they do something else, you know? But I think the more Americans evolve and get involved, you see, let me tell you, I said this before, you see, Europe, the Europeans are more emancipated than the Americans. And I think this is the Americans' decade. The Europeans been Europe, you don't fool Europeans like that. Their system of governance is different. Especially places like France, they'll take you out real quick. Put another like England, they change prime ministers like cookies, like clothes. Yeah, because they don't be playing like that. England, gosh, you come in there, you gotta do what you say you gotta do, or else they'll replace you. France is the same thing too. And these most of these European countries, Spain, Greece, Portugal, yeah, Americans, they're still in the democracy thing, you know. But I think more and more Americans are starting to understand that America is a Republican form of government or republic more than their illusion called democracy. So the only thing anyone, you can argue all you want, but like if you look at the system, you know it's not a democracy. I'm not even gonna waste my time arguing with anyone because I can argue with any day, any time on this, and you're not gonna win because I studied the thing. You understand? So yeah, I um, I don't know when China will announce, but like I said, they might not. They'll do just like what America did right after a European Civil War, and just roll it in, just roll in, and let everyone see it and say, "Welcome to." But maybe the Chinese, they kind of slow, like they're kind of slow on. They don't try to do things faster. That's the kind of friend that he's gonna be your friend forever. You don't even know that's your enemy. He's just hanging in there, pushing you. Hey, go on, go on, go on, go on. Meanwhile, he's pushing you off the cliff. It's how the Chinese. The Chinese are unpredictable. And I hope our president knew that. Yeah, our president didn't know what they were doing. You know, I like when I was a little boy, right? I used to hang around the older guys, the old men. I like to hang around the older men, and because they're full of wisdom. And this old guy was telling me one time how the um the founding fathers of Africa were behaving to the 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 British or the French. They were saying yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, and they were getting their education. Yes sir, yes sir. Once they learn all the tricks of the master, of the colonizer, and then they come one day and say, I want my office back. And then the master said, but you don't know how to run this. How you think you're going to run this? And then he says, you remember those days when I used to come in the office pretending as if I was sweeping and cleaning your office? I was learning the tricks. And I think I can. I can run this joint. That's what the old man told me. That's what the Chinese been doing all these years. And I think maybe they might, but I don't think they will. They wouldn't announce it. I think it just happen. But first, they have to contend. They have to contend with America and the dollars. I don't think the dollar is going anywhere. Yeah, don't. It's intricate. The whole process of the dollar is intricate. And not only that, if you think about, even if 50% of the world stop using the dollar, it's going to be a tough time. But at the end of the day, it's not going nowhere. The only, like all these countries that are saying that we're going to de-dollarize America, we're going to dethrone the dollar. You know how many people, some of you don't be thinking about this. You know how many countries out there that are invested in the dollar? And these countries don't even want it. It's even the ones that are trying to dethrone the dollar, right? They don't want the dollar to be dethroned because all of their investment is in the dollar. So if someone is keeping your money, trillions of dollars of your money, why would you want them to go bankrupt? Because if they go bankrupt, that means you can't get your money. What are you going to do? You're going to say you're going to go to war with them. They're going to trash you. You see? So all you're going to do is just work with America. That's all you can do if you're out there listening. You can say, if you don't pay me back my money, America's going to be like, say what? Say what? So the dollar is not going nowhere. You understand? It's how powerful America is. But you can have 3, 4 powerful countries coexisting. And that's what's going to happen. It's called multipolar world. It's going to happen. You're going to have all these powerful big fishes existing on our planet. And whether they like it or not, they're just going to be existing. They're not going to screw up with the other person. And then all the small fishes, they're going to exist too in this one globe. Just get rid of United Nations, replace them with representative, not country, just representative. You see, just don't call it, instead of calling it United Nations, just call it the body of peace. Get rid of United Nations, because United Nations is a bunch of politicians over there. Just have each of these countries have representative there. That's it. Yeah. And forget about that whole thing. They're not doing no good for the world anyway. So you can't say they're helping with diseases, they're helping stop war, they're helping stop this, they're helping. No, the world is even worse than when they even took over. So it's the same thing. So yeah, China is walking slow, but I think they're doing it strategically, and Trump should have never gone down there. Yeah, China should be the one to come here. That's my take. When Trump cross over that place, then make it look like he's already given up. How can you give up on the war that you started? Except if it's terrible, it has to be terrible. Something has to be going wrong for Trump to make that move. Like if I start a war, I'm in charge. I'm not gonna capitulate by going to talk to the person that I started a war with. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, because when a country imposes tariff on another country, you may see it as just being fair, but the other country don't see it that way. They see it as a war on their survival or their existence. So they're going to see it that way. You may think is, oh, you're just trying to do the right thing by your people. They don't see it like that, because now they have to strategize. They have to make a different move. They have to do things differently to counteract what you've just done. So if they don't make a move, the economy is going to collapse, and that's war. If the economy collapses, that brings about instability in the country, and they wouldn't want that. So for them, it's war. You see it? So for you to start this war, Mr. Trump, and you go to that country, it just shows a sense of weakness. I mean, it's just how I see it. But again, um, I just I just hope we find this whole situation is ended in the Middle East. Um, I know I've always come on my channel and try to talk to you, Mr. Trump. Um, Even though I may not like what you're doing, but you still are president, and we cheer for you, because right now you have so much power to make life better for us in this country. I mean, the ordinary Americans. That's all we want, so we can be able to go to work and not worry about. Right now, I spend over $80 to $90, you know, a week on gas, just going to work and coming home, you know. And sometimes, some days I just drive like that. It's true. We never expected this, you know. Again, when a president can do what he wants, because all he has the power to. And I think the power that you have to do these things is the same power you have to fix them. So I hope your trip to China, I should say, can start to roll back some of these high prices we pay on gas, and bring about prosperity. Make America great again, like you say, sir. And yeah, I don't know when China going to announce, but like I said, maybe they might not. They do the same thing America did after the European Civil War, World War II. And we see. Or maybe they have a date that they're waiting to announce. But only time will tell. Again, as I've always said, the greatest thing that could ever happen to anyone is not the day you were born, and the day you graduated from high school, college, the day you became a lawyer, doctor, the day you had a first child, the day none of that. The greatest thing, my friends, that could ever happen to anyone is the day you discover yourself. Because from that day on, everything, my friend, will start to make sense to you. You become knowledgeable, and you never capitulate on the war that you started. Only loser capitulate, and people don't capitulate because they want to. They do it because they see the circumstances of their action, and they know danger is near, so they capitulate. So again, I want to thank everyone, especially my new subscribers. Welcome to the Common Sense channel. Everyone on my channel, everyone that watch and support my channel, welcome, and thank you. And most importantly, I hope that you and your loved ones are safe and are in good health. Thank you and have a pleasant day.